Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. And we are in episode number 2 with Morgan, a key member of the #1 investing team in Fresno, California, my investing market. Jason, Jen, hi, how are you? So Morgan, what I want to do in episode number 2 is give people a better purview of your day in the life today. You are doing some very critical roles. You have grown in the organization. Jason and Jen have added Airbnb and they're flipping projects in other areas and they're doing some amazing things. And I'm sure your day and your week is quite busy. What's it look like?
Okay, yes, it is very busy. It's fun though. So we want to go kind of day by day, right? Like what's
Sure.
what's it like in the day? So as I said in our previous discussion, I start every day with a morning update for Jason on where we're at with certain projects or anything that's going on that I may need assistance with or things like that. After that, honestly, after we've had our morning meeting, we have a morning a pulse. We call it a daily pulse meeting where we just kind of check in with the whole team. We see where everyone's at. We all go around and share a win from the day before, and that just kind of helps get that positive vibe going for us throughout the day.
I like it.
After that, I basically start going down the list of active projects that we have going on, ones that are actually under rehab right now.
Yeah, just to give people a color, like if you were to look at your board or tracking, how many active projects would you have today or usually?
Oh, I'd say it's pretty typical to have about 5 active projects going on. I'd say 5 or 6.
And that could be all over the Central Valley.
It could be, yeah, totally. We've done a few in Sacramento actually, but thankfully the woman we partner with on those, she takes over that project management side and she has fun with it. So that makes my job easier. I kind of just help her like order things and get the design stuff figured out, and then she runs with that. So, but yeah, so when I'm actually managing projects, there's usually, I'd say 5 or 6 going on at a time. I go down the list. I check in with contractors every day. I say, where are we at? What is there anything that you need from me today? Or is granite ready to be ordered today? Is the laminate ready to be put in? Things like that. I take care of ordering anything that needs to be ordered.
And then these 5 projects, sorry, just trying to want to give people color of these. These 5 projects might be anywhere from a light kind of lipstick paint carpet, I don't know, 10, 12 grand to like, I remember buying it's a Firebird house and we're doing everything, right?
Yeah, which we've done that as well. We actually are listing a fire damaged property tomorrow that we've been working on for, almost a year, I think.
Yeah.
And it looks,
amazing. Yeah. So these could be anywhere from, I'll call them light rehabs to
like
full
TLC to full blown. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And then the project timeline's probably as short as 4 weeks to as long as a year?
Yeah, that's a good assumption. Yes, around 4 weeks is a typical lighter project, I'd say. And then for our other projects that are, a little more involved, I'd say 6. Those are usually 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, I would. If you were to pick a number, kind of average all of them, it would be right around 8 weeks.
It would be an average. Sorry. I put that on silent.
Okay.
An average time, I'd say probably more like 6.
Okay. All right. And then like a really long project. I mean, you've had some over a year.
Yeah, for like really long ones, especially over the last year, I think just because with things being so delayed, materials back ordered, and stuff like that. Yeah, it can be a year at times, but that's more rare. That's
definitely more rare. But I just want to give people scope.
Yeah, for sure.
And then again, you just brought something up. I think it was really interesting because I don't know what you've seen. I'm going to guess you've seen it, but I've done a few amount of flips and inventory, like in stock or delays, wasn't really a concern 2 years ago. It is absolutely a concern now, right? You can make decision A and go, Jason, A is not going to be here till July. Do you have an option B?
Exactly. And I deal with that quite a bit, honestly. That's why it's important, at least in a project management role, it's important that you know where to source materials, but also where to source other options that are kind of still the design that you want to go for, but not crazy expensive either. They still fit within your budget and you're still able to deliver a nice end product when it's all said and done.
And again, Jason is taking on anything from kind of flips to keeps to even now he's doing Airbnb. So lots of different choices and all those things to consider, right?
Totally. Yeah. No, the Airbnbs, those are fun. I don't manage those. Well, I manage the project part of it.
Yeah.
But once it's done, once
Yeah.
the punch list is all finished, I pass it off to our team member Logan, and he and Althea, that's another team member we have. They do great with managing the Airbnbs. They're fun. Yeah.
That's awesome. So again, is it fair to say that Jason he's really focusing on securing the deals, and he's finding rock stars like you and Athea, and I forget the other one. Sorry, the other guy's name.
Althea and Logan.
Logan, thank you. Yeah.
Our sales. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's constantly adding to the team, so he gets more and more focused where the big money is. Is that maybe a fair assumption?
Yeah, absolutely. I think
Smart.
adding the right people is huge for him, and knowing when to add those people, because a year ago it was just me, Jason, and Jade, and we were wearing all these hats, and we were looking back, we were kind of drowning a little bit and not realizing how much we were drowning until we decided, let's add on some more people and start expanding our team, because we're getting too big at this point and we need more hands on deck. So yeah, we added on Logan, Althea. We are adding on one more VA actually next week, which we're very excited about. She's going to be basically a lead manager and follow-up specialist. So that'll really push our sales into higher volume, and we're excited about that. So
that's awesome. So let's talk about, let's talk about a horror story. People love horror stories. You're doing a remodel and you find a surprise. I don't know, an unpermitted room, broken pipes. Let's talk about a big surprise. It costs lots of money to fix, because people always like stories like that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Oh my gosh. I should have thought of that before we got on, because there's so many. Let's see. Well, one that's most recent that stands out is that property, that country property that I mentioned, that was one of the first ones I took on. Mm-hmm. So there were so many buildings on that property, and a lot of them we had to tear down because they were weird. They were like, who would use these? And this just does not go. Like, what do we do with this?
Who thought this was a good idea?
Who thought this was a good idea to build this? And there's two houses on the property side by side. So we kept both houses. We kept one of the workshops, or maybe two of the workshops in the back, but lots of other stuff we tore down and stuff. So anyway, the horror story kind of happens after the project's all said and done, and we actually had a buyer and we're in escrow, and there was this whole big thing about them just being confused about what buildings were there, what buildings weren't, where the permits happened, where they didn't. Anyway, so the horror story is that escrow had to end up getting canceled, because when you get into a situation like that, it's like, well, yeah, we just need to part ways. If you're going to make a big deal out of a small issue, this just isn't worth it. So
yeah,
that was most recent. I don't know if that's counts as a horror story, but it was kind of just a bummer, I would say.
Well, yeah, there's like I tell people all the time, real estate's a people business.
Yeah.
And you just never know where somebody's going to anchor on something, right? If somebody whispers in the buyer's ear that there's supposed to be 5 structures and then there's 3, they're like, I think I'm buying 5, but there's only 3, but the other, those were from 1940. I mean, it just gets all messy, right?
Exactly. There's always stuff like that could come up on a property like that. So, a better horror story that I think actually happened recently as well. Also, this is in escrow. Once the project is all said and done, the home inspection happens, and the home inspector realizes he can't fire up the heater. The heater's not working.
Oh.
So I'm like, oh, well, that's really weird, because we had it serviced at the beginning of the rehab. We knew it was working just fine. So I don't know what happened. So I send my HVAC guy over there to check it out after the home inspector leaves, and he realizes the gas line up into the attic has been cut.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, when and why and how and what?
Yeah, and that's not good.
He's like, hey guys, didn't you do some reframing to this house? I said, yeah, we did. He's like, okay, I think what happened was your contractor, in the middle of reframing, he got up in the attic. He had to cut the gas line because of that wall that he was removing and reframing other areas of it. So the gas line was cut. And because of all the balls he's juggling, he forgot to run a new gas line before he closed up the wall and like all that. And so, so yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah. Oh, we gotta
So,
create a
yeah, we
hole.
have to exactly figure that out and get that taken care of. But it is taken care of, and it's going to be fine. It always works out, and that's something that Jason always reminds me. He's like, Morgan, don't stress. Like, you can't break anything in this business. Everything is fixable, and it always works out, and it does.
Yeah, the one thing that I will give Jason ultimate credit for, and he does so many things so well, is his attitude, right? He's always positive. Absolutely. He's always seeking to help and grow. And I got to imagine being a part of his world is just amazing every day.
It is. It's a big blessing, and I love it. And it's not only does it provide value to me, but to our whole team. And it's fun to be able to connect with others within his network that I didn't have access to before, but now I do because I know him and I work so closely with him. Now I'm able to really, connect with all these amazing people in the real estate world. And it's
yeah,
we love it. Yeah.
It's going to be amazing to see what Jason is in 10 years, 5 years.
Yeah. 5 years. I know, year by year, he's growing like crazy. So
crazy stuff. Well, Morgan, thank you very much for this. I look forward to episode number 3.
You're welcome. Thank you.